And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you, my friends?
I'm doing great. What a beautiful, cool morning it was, dude, this morning. Super stoked. It wasn't like humid or anything. So start the day off right. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it was nice that nice cool morning, lasted for about 20 seconds, and then we got the heat wave. Or you think it's not too bad right now?
I don't know, man. When I got in here, it wasn't too bad. It was nice, dude.
Yeah, I mean it's getting. I know it's gonna get to almost 90
today.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
so gonna get a little humid in the afternoon. But hey, we deal with it best we can. Hydration has been a theme, Tony.
Have we been hydrating?
We have been hydrating. Yep. I would say probably I had 2 Yetis, 2 32-ounce Yeti waters today.
Oh, nice. Okay.
How about you?
Wait, you say today?
Yeah, you kidding? I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
All right, dude.
I should have more water than that. That's not
Probably,
enough.
All right.
Oh.
I've had 2, I want to say 12-ounce glasses this morning of water. No, I don't think. I think 24 ounces when you wake up is pretty good, dude, honestly.
No, I'm just messing with you. But I don't think there is there's ever too much water. That's what I'm getting.
No, you can be overhydrated.
Yeah, but I don't think you or I are capable of getting to that point, because we would just have to go to the bathroom so bad. That would be it.
Yeah, true. Not capable of getting there.
Michael, early and often?
Early and often. Michael says, let's go. Barnes, Sakura, and golf on LA Barnaby, ? Best show ever.
We're getting there, Michael. We're getting there. But of course, the greatest that there is.
Put it on the company card.
Dad, I didn't tell him anything. Don't pay attention. But I'm kind of curious too, Michael, if you could give us something on your daily water intake. I'm going to peg Michael for at least a gallon. I don't know, but what do you think? If he's not doing his fasting.
Well, he's got he does drink this tea. He has like a thermos in his car a lot where he drinks like this tea. I'm not sure what type of tea it is. But he definitely, it's basically water at that point. So I would say he's definitely hydrated. He also says NBA is so lame. New WWE. Yeah, he was talking about that tournament thing they're doing yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and how beat it is.
That's why. Think about NBA. It's not been a main theme for us in well over a year, maybe going on
crazy.
2 years.
Honestly, dude.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. How do you have a midseason tournament? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, we won the midseason, so now but it's like, no, that's not the championship. So it doesn't matter. It's gimmicky. And I know Adam Silver, prides himself on, being innovative, making changes. But I have to say, I think he started out doing very well, because David Stern, towards the end of his tenure, was definitely getting disliked.
Really? For what?
Just like the Lakers blocking the Lakers trade, stuff like that. It's just like, it didn't make any sense. It seemed like there was collusion. And Silver got off to a good start, but I think that, past 4 or 5 years, he's kind of went off the deep end a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely get that feeling too from a lot of NBA fans. Do you think that there's going to be a change in the midst?
No, because he already gave up the power to the players. So once you relinquish that power, Tony,
right? The players don't want him. Yeah.
But it's just, there's so many things that could make it so much better. And I don't know, versus you obviously can't get a redo of the precedent that you've already set. But if there was just some way to force players, that they can't sit out, basically, that they'll lose money, and that they had to play defense. And if there was any way to do that, I think it would just make the game so exciting, and each regular season game would feel like a college basketball game.
So what you want, like, kind of like how they have incentives, they have like decentives, I guess. Whereas if you don't reach a certain amount of time, like minutes played, you get deducted. Like
Not that, but I guess it's more just like if you say you want to sit out, but then, of course it gets murky because if the team wants to rest you, you know what I mean? And then they could say that to cut. So it's just because everybody's a rat at the end of the day. Everybody, Tony, is a rat.
Wow, dude.
You don't think so?
No, at least in the NBA. Yeah. It certainly seems like it over there, dude. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's tough to really gauge, I suppose, one thing and really how to fix it, because it just seems like that they're all, almost like you said, there's collusion. I feel like they're all just in cahoots with each other to make sure everyone stays kind of fat and happy, sort of deal. So, the fans suffer really the most.
And we know, Michael is a big Butler fan, a big Jokic fan, but I think he would even say, is it just me, or was the finals completely forgettable? Like, I couldn't even tell you what happened, other than like Jokic had like a triple-double, 30 points every night, and the Heat didn't have enough.
I couldn't really have one standout moment, I suppose.
And it should have been legendary. The Heat getting back to the finals again. Jokic finally having his moment, but it just wasn't, and that's pretty sad. And I don't know if it's possible to get it back. Michael also said the NBA is a show now. It's sad, and he loves the game of basketball so much, as do I. And definitely fall, winter. I'm gonna get back to like 3-4 times a week on the court. Honestly, I'm excited about that. Just
to play, play is sick,
but
dude.
it has to be the winter. Just the golf, it's too much to give up to play in the summer, honestly. And it's too hot too.
That's true. Especially like basketball. You're fucking talk about if you're a little dehydrated and then you'll play ball like in the sun, you're gonna faint, dude.
It's too much. It's too much. So next 10 years, Tony, do we any improvements, or do you think it just keeps getting worse?
I honestly would be surprised if there's like some type of like
bankruptcy.
No, probably not bankruptcy, but like an XFL type of situation coming in, where like either that or maybe like players start to stand up within the league. But again, I just feel like if a couple players do, they'll probably get ostracized, excommunicated, and then maybe a different league will pop up in America.
That would be.
I think that would be kind of sick.
Yeah. No, that would be absolutely crazy. That is for sure. So very, very interesting there. But you were asking me, but I'll start with you. We always have to sprinkle in a little food conversation.
Oh, dude.
What was for dinner last night?
So nothing crazy to get, it's the weekdays. I meal prepped. So I have it's almost like a Chipotle bowl. Mm-hmm. It's like, chopped meat, seasoned, of course. White rice, some broccoli, carrots, peppers, onions, a little bit of garlic, and habanero peppers. And that's always good, dude.
Wow.
Tastes good.
That does sound very good.
It's very cheap to make. It's efficient, gets the job done. I will say though, it's funny because we were shooting here last night and Mike was like, you're going to be hungry by the time you probably get home and whatever. And I was starving when I got home. But I also had a little ice cream in here for dessert. We have some vanilla ice cream from your birthday party, actually.
Wow, there you go.
Left over. So nice, just classic vanilla, dude. So good.
Difficult to put down.
I literally, I was like telling Mike I was probably going to fit the whole tub here. So that was really nice, dude.
That sounds a little more appetizing than I went chopped, kept it light, coming off the AC weekend. But it was like a Mediterranean. What the heck was it? It was basically like the chicken tzatziki, feta cheese, like
Greek
type
salad
of thing,
sort of deal.
Exactly.
A little peppercini.
Peppercini. No,
I know some places put those in their.
I'm trying to think. Actually, no peppercini, but kale and pita chips were in it too.
Pita chips are all right. Sometimes they get soggy in the salad.
Yeah, no, these were good. These were good. So, it was good. It's just, it really is just so tough to keep it light. But it's like,
What time did you have dinner?
It was like right before the Derby. So it was like 8:15 or something.
Okay, so pretty late. So probably
Yeah.
held you over, I guess, right?
Yeah, but you definitely get a little tempted. But hey, that's why you don't buy any snacks. Then what are you gonna do? You don't feel like getting them.
I know. Dude, I had some chips last night. I was like, oh, I'm such a fucking idiot, dude. The chips are brutal, dude.
Chips are tough.
Chips are so tough. And then of course, like, I'm on bed scrolling on Instagram and I see like, wow, look at this smash burger I just made. I'm just like, oh, dude, like mouth watering.
Yeah. I mean, you can't beat that. And right now, starving. I
know.
Ever since Michael introduced it to me, I would say I'm about during the week, maybe 90%. I just wait to have anything till after the show.
Yeah.
But
it's a good way to do it. But yeah,
I just hate though getting to that point where you're like right now,
right?
Like you just feel like you could devour something, and then you still have to wait like a little while. It's tough. You didn't eat anything either, or you had
nothing this morning. No eggs, dude.
So you're hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
What's for lunch?
I don't know. Actually, Michael said that he has lunch for us.
Oh, there you go.
So that's going to be pretty sweet. I'm always excited about that. Very good lunch. Great produce coming out of Mike's spot. Michael says, gotta be disciplined, he says, to enjoy it on the weekends. Hey, Brian, you gotta be, dude.
I wish it was just the weekends, Michael, but we're getting there.
I know, dude. But it's tough, dude, because the weekends, it's the pizza and the wings and the beer. It's hard to get back. Yeah, Michael says wings for Tony. Dude, did you drop in? When was that? Did I tell you that?
No. Wait, did you drop in last night?
No, 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike and I went on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. He says wings for Tony today, by the way. So that's pretty exciting. I don't know what that's about. Wings for lunch. But yeah, so have you ever been to Do Drop In?
I have only been there, I think, once, I want to say.
So great spot in Derby. I've tried to go there twice, actually. In my life. This is my third time going there. Twice I've gone, twice I've been denied, dude. I just went with like Jay and some guys, and it's always so packed. It's like an hour wait. And we're just like, we don't want to do that, dude. So we went on Sunday early, like 11:30, like noon when they first opened up. Nobody was there. Sat at the bar, watched some golf. And dude, it was dope. We got just classic Buffalo, classic honey barbecue. I got a coffee with bourbon in it, like an iced coffee with bourbon and cinnamon whipped cream. It was really good. A little too much cinnamon for my taste.
But the drinks mixed with coffee, like the alcoholic drinks, I just can't get enough.
Dude, it is ridiculous.
That's all, I could just drink that. And dude, I know like Campbell,
stop it, dude. But dude, actually, speaking of which, Michael K. Beach Bash, Stoli, little bar thing, Stoli nice coffee. So good. But anyway, the wings were fire. We had onion rings too, dude. We had onion rings on the side, and their onion rings were delicious. Unfortunately, they were served with like the sauce was good. It was a cucumber wasabi sauce.
You don't usually see that.
You don't usually see this. I was kind of surprised. I was like, ooh, like Mike, like we'll do it, dude. And I don't like cucumbers. I've gotten used to cucumbers, but I don't like cucumbers. But I will say it was pretty good because you got like a little hint of cucumber and then wasabi, and I love wasabi. So, and of course the batter on the onion rings, crispy, delicious. The wings in general were really good. Dewdrop is known for like crazy sauces and stuff. We didn't do that because the first time there. So next time we'll get like the peanut butter sauce and stuff. So it'll be pretty legit. And then Michael says you go in with me, you get in VIP. yeah. Says I made a couple calls to get the place for Tony and I. He said it was sick. It literally was like just us at the bar.
I'm surprised. A Sunday?
I know there was a group of guys in the corner. There were like 4 or 5 dudes who definitely just got done with golf.
Oh, okay.
And they went to get some wings and beers and shit. So it was a great spot. The service was cool. It was nice because it was slow. So, they were chatting us up, I guess. And
yeah.
The food, I could probably house 20 wings there, honestly. And then they have like a ton of they have burgers and fries and, jalapeno poppers, mozzarella sticks and stuff on the menu. It was just like, wow, dude.
I just want to know, like, how do the people that like are very disciplined, like, food palette wise, like how do they do it with all these options out there? I'm not saying you can't have a good day here, a couple good days here, but how do they do it for like a month straight, 2 months straight, and not have any of the stuff that you just talked about?
I know.
How is that?
I don't
possible?
know. Like not even a cheat day. Just don't even do it, dude.
Have you ever had like a couple week run like that, or?
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Definitely when I was working at MLB Network, that was like just a structure of like a schedule.
But was it just because like almost like we don't have another second.
Yeah.
It was
it was like
almost
that, dude.
like not even intentional.
No, yeah, especially when it was first starting, and
Yeah.
you're working 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's like you're just trying to grasp some sense of like a schedule because it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, it's definitely rewarding. Like, but it's very difficult. And then the tough part is like, let's say you're chilling with like a couple of your friends, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go get wings."
Yeah.
And then it's like, I mean, sure, I guess you could go there and get a salad, but it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's actually really funny, dude, because the other day, Sharon invited us, Mike and I, out, and Renee too. Renee couldn't go, but Mike and I out to dinner. I think this was Friday night, and we were still sitting here. We were just cranking out some work, and Mike looked at me, and it's like, it's not often Sharon asked us out to dinner. Very nice of him,
Right?
We went to Prime. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we'll get one drink, come back, keep working.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, like the second I had like the first sip of my first gin and tonic, like it's over. Like that's it, dude. It's like, all right, like, now like I'm just gonna keep drinking. Oh, now they want us to order food. Oh, we got the galamad. We're splitting some other stuff. Oh, dude, it's the nachos.
Well, this is what I'm talking about.
Today. Yeah, slippery slope, dude. And it's so tough because you can be so like on your discipline, like eating clean for weeks, and all it really takes is like one slip up.
No, but how about this? I know this has happened to you. You go to the restaurant, you have it set. I'm not gonna drink, and I'm just gonna get a salad.
Yeah.
And then somebody orders the nachos.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna eat all of these. Just have a couple.
I know, dude.
Have a couple. Oh, I ordered you a beer.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I know, dude. It's never just a couple. It's never just one beer. It's waking up noon the next day hungover and like, oh, dude.
Oh man.
Jay Bird comes in and says, Galamad, dude.
See, and then Michael is asking if this is AA. But the thing is, AA for food, Michael, for food. Like the drinks are just an add-on, but really the food is the tough part, Michael. The food.
The drinks are good too, Brian.
Now I'm just kind of curious too, because I've always felt, and I don't know, you could just tell me straight off the bat if this is just an excuse, but I feel like as far as like a clean palate, summer is about 10 times harder than the winter.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Because everyone else is out there, man.
Right.
Nobody works in the summer, especially around here.
Right.
Everyone's at Malibu Taco at noon.
Right.
And then you see him at a Horseshoe like later on that day. It's just they're not like, it's so tempting because everyone, the nice weather, you're by the beach, the great restaurants. It's like, why do you want to do anything else?
And one exception for winter, I would say football. Tough to kind of keep it clean there. But other than that, especially weekday, I feel like it's all gym grilled chicken.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
definitely way more on a discipline.
Maybe a Thursday night football, but that's really it. And I just feel like the gym is the main entertainment, gym and football.
Yeah.
Summer, you want to be outside. And you just want to be enjoying the summer because it doesn't last the whole year.
Michael says building time's harder in the summer. It was his best show. Gosh, I love it so. I will tell you though, there are winter nights that it's just dope, like where it's like freezing cold out. You just like stay home and drink like at home with the boys. Like that's sick, dude.
It is, but
like don't you just want to like drink and like have a derby, dude?
I don't know. I feel like I was saying, it's for me, it's more the food than the drinking, especially.
So you order wings in, dude.
No, but especially during the week, honestly, like it's like really like unless there's like a specific event. There's just no need to be like all hungover in the morning and like have to get up early. Like it's just not worth it at all.
I know.
Really isn't.
Yeah,
but I feel like you're giving me the look like if anybody can handle it, it's you.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's both of us, really. Come on, dude.
I think you're better at it than me. Because I just absolutely despise it. Like I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be all tired and like just dying to get through the day. I don't want that.
Yeah, true.
And obviously on the weekend it's different because like you could sleep till 10 o'clock and then you're kind of back, water intake. I feel like we could start hosting seminars in this.
Honestly, we could really really encourage people to like quit their job and start drinking and eating whatever they want. Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
man.
what do you say after this? Archie's. Right? Just to like start it, go to the par 3 in Southport, and then maybe go somewhere else for a while. End the day at Fairchild Wheeler.
Wow.
19th hole.
All-star game.
all-star game there. Yeah, that'd be sick, dude.
Tony is
Oh.
like the drinking Wolverine.
He recovers quickly, he says.
And then Jay saying hydration is key. And I mean, if that's really the case, Tony, I mean, is it just because you're never off your hydration game? Is that the reason why? Or
I mean, I will say I'm pretty good with making sure I drink at least like 2 canisters of water through the day of my Yetis. And then it's just like while I'm at home, like the fridge water is right there. Like you're stupid not to like fill your glass every time you're over there. So I try my best to. And in terms, I think, of the recovery, honestly, what really helps me is like forcing myself to go on a run in the morning.
Really?
You got,
okay.
I think if you sauna or run, you sweat it out. Like you sweat out the alcohol, and then you drink some water, and then you shower, and then you make breakfast, and it's just like you're a new man. You know.
But how do you get over the 4 hours of sleep part? Then it's
it could be tough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
is it genetics?
It could be genetics. It's probably hereditary, honestly. My mother gets no sleep. I know that, dude. Michael said genetics. I was like, wow. I was like, wow, Brian, genetics. It could be genetics, honestly. But also it's just, I'm also used to not sleeping a lot already, you know, and then, especially on the weekend, you can budget your sleep time, like you sleep on Saturday night,
Yeah.
Try sleeping on Sunday or something.
But I literally never want to have sub 5 hours ever again. And even really it should be sub 6.
Yeah. Anything below 6 is kind of
it's so annoying. It really it just makes the everyday stuff that you do so much more difficult.
It does. It literally drags everything on.
Yeah.
Michael says when he was drinking the gym AM, the sauna is key. It was, dude. I would love to have one in my house.
Sauna, water, sleep.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Jay knows it. Michael knows it. We all know it. But I think, Tony, it's a good time to go to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play. Stop it. Yeah. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So obviously we are on the All-Star break for Major League Baseball. We did have the Home Run Derby last night, but before the Derby, it was announced that the Yankees had found their replacement for former hitting coach Dylan Lawson, going with former Cincinnati Red and current MLB analyst Sean Casey, who coincidentally enough, or not coincidentally enough, a former teammate of Aaron Boone's in Cincinnati. Casey, I believe, I'm going to double check this, but I believe the lifetime, 302, the lifetime batting average, 130 home runs. So more of a contact guy than a power guy. So, and, he did have some quotes. And I think the biggest couple of things that he said, and I don't know if you saw any of the quotes that he had, Tony, was first he said, we're getting plenty of hits, talking about the Yankees, which I don't agree with because I was just listening to Dave this morning, and I guess they're 29th in the league in total hits. Only the A's have less hits. So clearly that's not enough hits. But he's saying we're not getting enough hits when it counts, when there's runners on, which I agree with. And he also said that there's no such thing as a cookie cutter hitter. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and you need to focus on that than having one generalized approach.
That's good.
So I think overall, that's pretty good. And there's been a lot of things, being said about this hire. A couple things to say, I guess, a lot of people are saying he seems to be less analytical, which is, obviously what they want, a focus on contact versus launch angle, which is good. But then you also have the naysayers saying, he's never been a coach before, that he could potentially be a guy you want to have a beer with, but maybe not a coach. I mean, and now, did you ever meet him at the network?
Yeah, man. I had a few run-ins with him actually.
I want the full breakdown.
So, working at MLB Tonight, he would be an analyst on that, and he would, fill in other morning shows and shit like that. But I don't know. I always liked Sean Casey.
Mhm.
And you look at his numbers are good, obviously, in terms of being able to hit the ball. His last year was in 08. I think he still had above 302. I think maybe
322.
322 batting average in 08.
Yeah.
That's really good, dude. So, and then again, I feel like, yeah, he's never been a coach before. But I mean, the man has been with MLB Network for X amount of years. So he's not like he's been so removed from the game since 08.
Mm-hmm.
He's been constantly in film room, like looking at, breaking down batters, breaking down plays, breaking down modern day baseball. And on top of that, he just was always like the nicest guy. Like he was always easy to talk to. It wasn't like, come in with the editors and stuff like that. He never some guys you could tell like they didn't really want to be talked to. They kind of thought like, well, this is what I do. You don't talk to me, whatever. He was always very friendly, very talkative. I worked with him a couple times on breakdowns and stuff like that. It was a nice time, honestly. I thought he seemed like a guy who you could, yes, enjoy a beer with, but on the other hand, I feel like he knows a lot about baseball, has numbers to back it up, doesn't like the analytics, was outspoken about that at the network. So it's I feel like he's going to be a good, gutsy, kind of playing by his own rules sort of coach. And at the same time, I think it's going to be good for the attitude of the clubhouse. And I think you're going to see an uptick in some production here, dude. I think it's a good move.
And then I think now, did you listen to Dave this morning or no?
A little bits and pieces.
So I don't know if you caught this part or not, and I believe it was Raymond who was saying that he knows somebody that, I don't know, that's close to the game or whatnot, and that all of these guys, which I'm sure they do, but have their own personal hitting coaches, and that it doesn't matter who the team's hitting coach is. And I don't know if you heard that, or
I have heard that. I don't know how I've heard people having their own hitting coaches before, but I don't know how much. Did he say how many, what percentage of players have that?
He said all of them do, but I don't know. I mean, maybe the guys are getting paid a lot because, they have so much money they don't know what to do with.
Right. It. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense for a player to have their own hitting coach, because you would want the same guy coaching you, throughout college or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, that kind of becomes, I feel like a too many cooks in the kitchen situation. Dude. And then, I just feel like you're bound to encounter a team coach and a personal coach that don't agree on something.
Right.
So, what does that do to the player?
Well, and one thing that I would say, even if that is the case, given the lack of success pretty much every hitter on the team has had, other than Judge, who's obviously not playing right now, and then Volpe, everyone else, it's you would think, specifically, Rizzo and Stanton and LeMahieu and even Glaber, because while his numbers have been pretty good, it's been very up and down, that they would be excited and welcome a new strategy, new tactics, so that wouldn't be a problem.
Not to mention, I just feel like with Sean Casey's personality, he's a pretty direct guy. You know exactly how he's feeling, what he's thinking, and he says what's on his mind. So I feel like, he would kind of implement his teaching over any personal coach. You kind of be like, well, F off. I'm the Yankees coach. You're not in here. This is my batting practice session, not yours, sort of deal. Whatever.
Right. And then, he could say, look at the influence that you've had so far this season.
Yeah.
This team is in serious trouble because nobody's hitting.
How do you feel about the players having their own coaches, batting coaches?
Yeah, I could see how there could be a conflict of interest, but if you're a smart player, and a perfect example, of course, would be Aaron Judge. I'm sure he has a personal hitting coach, but he definitely takes input from everybody. Plus, I'm sure, if somebody's trying to change too much of what he's doing, he's going to say, listen, I think that the numbers speak for themselves. I don't think too much. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I guess, I think it's good The only thing that I guess I'm just slightly concerned about is that he hasn't been a coach before, but then again, had a respected career, has been analyzing these guys on MLB Network for a while. So that should be good. I just, hope because of the ties with Boone, that he's not just an extension of Boone. You know what I mean? But it doesn't, from what you're saying, it seems like he's going to be his own guy and he's going to give you his ideas and no one's going to come in the way of that.
Yeah, I really do think so. I mean, the guy, again, he just gives off that attitude of like, this is who I am, F you. Like, I'm going to do kind of what I want. I'm going to say what I say. I'm going to say what I want to say.
Right.
And I'm not going to be like you're not going to control me is what he's the type of guy, like he's his own person, it seems like. So again, you got to be worried about the Boone situation, but I mean, I don't know. Are these guys really that friendly? Like, how long were they on the Reds together for?
I'm not sure.
Even sure.
I guess we could go stat analysis. Because I think Aaron Boone definitely started his career with Cincinnati. And then, came over to the Yankees, before the 2000, or was it? No, it was during the 2003 trade deadline.
They played for the Reds in 98 to 03.
So 5 years. So they
probably are pretty friendly, I guess. Yeah.
I think, and I do think too, and I'm not sure what your thoughts are, but I do think it's better than, getting somebody from the organization, because it's kind of a two-sided thing. Like, you could say, well, I'm sure there is one organizational philosophy that they've been working off of.
Yeah.
But then the only other counterpoint to that is the minor leagues, there's been a good amount of success.
Right.
But I do still think, because of the ties to a general philosophy, that bringing somebody from outside the organization is the best way to go.
Yeah, I do think so. I think this really was a good pick too.
So good personality, knowledgeable. I've been studying these hitters for years and years. So we'll see what type of impact he can have when he joins them in Colorado on Friday. And then I guess, one thing too from this, not really related to Sean Casey at all, but on Rick and Dave, I think they were mainly talking about this, about how, it doesn't matter who you have in there. Some of these guys are just completely cooked. What are your thoughts about that?
Like some of the batters, you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta take that into account for sure. I mean, I don't think, again, maybe for a short period of time, you'll see some of these guys like Donaldson, or I don't know, even like Oswaldo Cabrera or something, where they start to have like a little bit of an uptick in production. Yeah. But I mean, those players who are like them, who are kind of cooked, like you're going to see them flatline or just have a threshold of like, all right, now they were batting, like Donaldson's batting 197. All right, now 150. Now he's batting 210. Improvement, but I mean, like, what are we really talking about here? So,
what's annoying? I'm pretty sure, because it's like 10 home runs and about 100 at bats. Like, he's on pace for like 60 home runs if he played a full season. But it's like, come on, like, obviously that's not sustainable.
That's crazy.
But I'm kind of curious, who would you say? I'm not going to name anybody specifically, because I just want your, like, above and beyond everybody else on the roster, who, like, for sure completely finished. You could have, Pete Rose teaching them hitting. They're not going to improve, and they should be off the team. One guy obviously comes to mind, but other than that, I mean, who would you say definitively, like, we're just wasting our time keeping him on the roster?
It's a good question. Wasting your time. I mean, obviously, other than if you're, other than Donaldson, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of tough, dude. I really hate seeing Cabrera out there. I know I mentioned him.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know. I think maybe at this point, DJ could be cooked.
Yeah.
That's probably the next guy. Like, every day, like, you see him so much, like that player.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, man.
Do you think he can contribute as a utility bench player? Or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
like maybe he plays less, he hits better.
I mean, maybe again, you got to try something with him. I mean, it's almost like, to another extent, it's like a Donaldson situation where it's like, Donaldson was MVP. Like DJ LeMahieu had wonderful numbers.
Batting champion in both leagues.
Yeah, like, and it's just that significant drop off in age, struggling with some injury. Like, maybe for him, less play will be better. But I feel like he wouldn't like that, DJ.
Yeah,
You know?
but I think, I mean, you see the frustration. I mean, frustration. He's definitely embarrassed right now.
Yeah.
The way he's producing.
I know. Yeah, he definitely is. It's a shame.
So you would say just definitively just them two, Donaldson and DJ?
Yeah, really.
You're expecting better second halves from Stanton and Rizzo?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that. And I've been saying it for DJ for a while. I mean, I'm still holding out just a little bit of hope that he could be like a 275 hitter and good with runners in scoring position. I don't care if he never hits another home run again. But if he could just do that, play decent defense, we'll take it.
You think he will?
No, I think he probably finishes sub 250, unfortunately.
That's tough.
Do you think so? I mean, he's hitting like 228.
Yeah, sub 250 sounds about right.
Couple comments from your mother here.
Yes. By the way, Michael says got Brian a nice coffee, so you better watch out, buddy.
Wow, ready to get jacked up.
Yeah,
Thanks,
dude. And my mother says, "Hi, fellas. I bet A-Rod would be good." She says,
"As a hitting coach,
must be." Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think maybe some players will have a lack of respect for him.
So, but if it was purely from a knowledge perspective, it would be great. But you just think that people would be like, okay,
This
like
guy's
I don't
a
want
chief.
this chief.
Yeah.
And it's funny that she brings up A-Rod because I don't know if you saw this, but they actually asked him on the set of the Home Run Derby last night what he thought about the hire. And he thought that it was good, that he would get away from the analytics. And he was saying that the Yankees need to just completely throw the analytics out the window and get back to smart baseball, what they used to do back in the glory days of, and then Jeter smiled when he said it. So seems like the captain agreed, Tony.
Yeah, maybe Jeter should have been the hitting coach.
Yeah, it's a shame. Jeter could have any role in the organization, but he just wants to chill back.
Good for him, honestly.
But at least you just have to hope that some of those guys from those teams will eventually make their way, and maybe the next coaching staff, hopefully that's not 2035. But
do you think that, I don't know, the fact that they hired a new hitting coach under Boone and Cashman, like you think Boone and Cashman are going to be like here to stay?
Well, I have a hard time thinking, Tony, that if they not only miss the playoffs, but then, maybe go 10-18 in September,
right?
In no offense, that those guys stay around. I mean, right? I just think that's the breaking point, because Hal has been able to say, we're in the playoffs, we're in a playoff series, we're winning 90+ games. But if they miss the playoffs and then finish terribly, have a terrible second half, barely over 500, I do think that's going to change things.
Yeah. I think if I think if Boone like pulls another pitcher with, like 70 pitches into a game in like the 6th inning, it's like, what are you doing?
Disgusting.
I know, it's such a terrible decision.
But you know what this thing is, though, and I hate to, make any excuses for him, but I want to say half the league maybe still does that, just because they're so set on third time through, getting a guy out of there, getting to the bullpen, which, I mean, the one thing too, and like I said, I'm not in any support of him, but I mean, they do have the best bullpen in the league.
Right.
So it's not like you're bringing in guys that are worse pitchers than Herman. I mean, the Hamilton just didn't have it.
Yeah, it is tough when like decisions like that too blow up in your face,
Yeah. So a lot to be sorted out, but we'll have to see what happens. So like I was saying, we did have the Home Run Derby last night in Seattle, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Winning it, and this is on the heels of coming up just short to Pete Alonso back in 2019. And we'll talk about the specifics, kind of round by round. And there was a lot of chatter about this on Twitter, and I showed you the comment that the company had about the Seinfeld camera angle, Tony.
Dude.
But I mean, I understand it's a faster pace than it used to be, the 10 out days and stuff. But is the broadcast presentation not one of the worst televised events you've ever seen?
It's definitely up there for me. Yeah, it really is. I just think, like you were saying, maybe like the fast pace, they can't keep up with it because it really is super fast paced.
Oh, I understand it's fast paced, but also though, why not just don't really move? Maybe zoom in if somebody hits one way far and you want to see where it lands. But why not just have a still right behind the catcher the whole time?
No, yeah, I totally agree. I think a wide of like the field of the outfield would be good because I feel like it's every 2 seconds you just see a camera like.
And I hate
like,
seeing the ball land, but then not see how it got there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes the shots are too tight, and then sometimes like the shots are like see a tight shot of a ball in the air, and you're like, oh wow, it's going out, and then it's just like way short of the wall, and you're like, well,
Right, not
okay,
even
like
close.
why am I even watching that?
So, and I mean, the ins and outs of camera work and stuff. I mean, my suggestion, is that possible given the pace? Do they need to delay it more so they can kind of, I don't know, edit the presentation of it? Any insight of how they could kind of clean it up?
Yeah, I mean, delaying it is kind of tough because everything is so like in real time with social media. That's like, why would I be watching this? I would say like what was cool what they were doing with it, like they had like a low angle kind of shot off to the side behind the catcher and they were showing like the trajectory.
Right.
Like that should have been the wide angle shot.
Okay.
And every hit you can see, oh, like this one and then this one, and then you can cut. Like, don't cut cameras as much.
Yeah.
Because that's what's like when you cut to a camera that's moving so much, it's just like really jarring.
And it's been so long since they switched the format, but I'm just trying to think. Did it used to be behind the pitcher or behind the catcher, and then they would zoom in on the ball? Like, do you remember how they used to shoot it?
No, it was definitely behind the pitcher, like that regular.
And then as soon as the ball's in the air, they switch to the ball.
Yeah, they would cut to the ball, and there would be more time. Like it's like
And a lot of people clamoring on Twitter last night to go back to the old format. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess I like this format, honestly.
So it's just the cameras that's a problem. It's not the format.
Yes,
and I know obviously they do kind of coincide, but at the same time, I mean, adjustments can be made. And it's funny too, because it seemed like, I don't know if you noticed this, but they started kind of showing that other angle more as we got later into the broadcast. And it's like almost like they heard the people chirping on social media.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely they did.
And then everyone was complaining. I don't know if you saw on ESPN2, they had a StatCast version of the Derby, and one side is literally like what you would see on MLB at bat, like just like a 3D rendering of the trajectory of the ball. And everyone's like, "What? Why are we showing this?" John Boy was on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about John Boy?
No, I think overall they're good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really listen to their stuff, but the little clips and stuff that I hear from them, I think it's pretty good. What do you think?
I think they're losing like where they came from a little bit. They're forgetting where they came from
in terms of what, how,
like,
why.
So all right.
No, I'm not even being offensive. I'm just wondering.
So it's actually funny because we at Dewdrop they had their podcast on, I guess, after Talking Yanks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which I don't know, dude. It's like for me, it is very obvious that is like it's great that they have. Again, like I have a lot of respect for John Boy because I love his breakdown videos.
Yeah.
And like that's where that's kind of for me where it came from. It came from starting like that's what got popular for him on social media.
Right.
And then the Yes contract came, and that's great that he was able to come up that way, not really having like the traditional route, right? To getting a show.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, I'm watching this show, and it's just again, I don't know the ins and outs of like how much their budget is or anything.
Right.
But it's like he is at his place, like it's a virtual podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Boone is on it. They're interviewing him, also virtual. He's in a hotel room, and it's like, it's like this is Aaron Boone's shot,
right?
Like it's his laptop that's down here, looking up at his chin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like clearly not a lot of production value goes into it. For me, it just seems like that it's like someone took a podcast and just put cameras in there and is streaming. It's like the whole podcast is a triple box for the interview. Nothing is looks like what's on your screen right now, where it's like kind of a cool background. It's just like a blue background. It says in the bottom episode 598 the whole time.
Right.
and it's like any graphic or font looks like it was done in like, Microsoft Paint, like just type. Like it's just not a well-produced show. And I just think that maybe it's because like, again, they're not like, they're kind of like, yeah, they got big and now they're kind of overstretching in terms of what type of content they're having. And because of that, like you're stretching yourself thin, content is going to kind of fail. It's just not as like, I don't know, it's not as entertaining anymore.
But well, first of all, I would say, I mean, isn't it not fair to compare another show to us? I mean, who's really going to have what we have?
Yes. No, you're completely right on that one. Yes.
But I'm just curious because you spent most of the time, like your reasoning there,
right,
talking about the presentation,
the production,
broadcast.
Yeah.
But then you're saying content. So what with the content are you saying that is unattractive?
Well, like the podcast as a whole is like their content is the podcast as a whole.
So it's not the subject matter. You're just talking about the presentation.
Yeah, I mean the subject matter. I mean they're interviewing Aaron Boone. That's sick. Like they're asking him questions. I will say I think like, is the guy's name Anthony? No, the dude who wears like the seashell necklace on the show, young dude. Because it's like it's John Boy. Is that guy David?
Okay.
And then it's Talking Jake.
Talking Jake.
Yeah, that's who it is. That dude is kind of like he needs to chill out a little bit, I think.
Dude, I told you one of my friends was roommates with him at Central.
And
no, I'm just saying it's just kind of funny, ironic.
Yeah, but like, did you like him?
Yeah, he said he was cool.
Yeah. Did you ever meet him?
No. But then also, this kind of just made me think of this. And I thought it was pretty cool. I watched the clip and I could send it to you guys later, but I don't know if you've seen, because I know obviously you don't watch the Yes Network that much, but how they have like that show Homegrown, documenting the Yankees minor league teams.
Yes.
So Corey was on it.
Oh,
yeah,
sick,
I'll send you the link. It was awesome. He did such a good job.
Is Corey your boy who roomed with him? Is that why you thought of that?
No, but the reason I thought about it actually is because later today I'm actually golfing with the guy who roomed with him, Mike, and then Corey.
So
it just
that's
made
funny.
me think you're talking Yes Network and stuff.
You should show them this clip of the show.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely show them that for sure.
I mean, hey, the guys are working hard, but it's just like, I don't know, dude, especially for someone like me, like I'm a production guy.
Right.
They were not like, they're not like John Boy isn't a production guy,
and
I understand that, but it's just like, if you're going to be on a network, like, yes, like you should look into like figure out how to make your show better. Cause like, and it's a double box, it was a triple, like it's just double box the whole time. Like there's no camera cuts. There's like, even the producer was like in his little box at the end of the screen the whole time. And it's kind of distracting because he's just like, he's not paying attention. He's doing whatever he's doing. I just thought that they could do better. And
it's interesting, they do that in terms of they get the deal with Yes,
right.
And then it's kind of interesting, instead of whatever income I'm guessing that they're getting from that, instead of investing that in, like you're saying, the presentation, the cameras, the production, they have some office space in Manhattan.
Oh,
and it's
really?
Like, I don't know. It's like, what I don't, and I don't get, like, why didn't that come with like a, I don't know, better studio? Because you think it's the studio itself, or is it just the cameras, the setup? Like,
it's the whole, like I understand, we're in an age where all these shows and everything kind of stray away from what a studio. But it's just like there's a reason why studios are better. There's a reason why in-person shows are just better.
Right.
Like it's not like they do their show, they do it virtually. Like, why aren't they using their space in Manhattan? They should have a studio. Like, where is their studio then?
But yeah, no, that is a good point. I don't know if it is there and they just, I don't know, use a small room or whatever. But what is I guess is the difference too, because I'm just thinking about like how cable networks, when someone's not there, but they bring them on for a segment or whatever, and the camera works very good. Is that because they send a separate source out there to film the people rather than just have them on their iPhone? That's what it is.
They'll send a guy
or
out
send
there.
a camera.
Yeah, they'll send an engineer with a camera and a lighting kit and properly.
Yeah, so that's what it is. So John Boy, hey, if you're listening out there, you might want to sharpen up on that.
Yeah, honestly, and again, I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah,
did come up, but I don't know. I mean, I don't listen to that podcast obviously a lot. I don't watch it a lot. But I was just a little surprised, dude.
Yeah. So, just if they don't sharpen up, I don't know. You might see this show on the Yes Network.
Do you know what their contract is for the Yes Network?
No,
by the way?
I
How many
don't.
years they're
No, and it just started like within the last year. It's not that
had the baby and everything, dude. So he's got a lot going on.
A lot going on.
It's tough, dude. Spread yourself thin. Things start to suffer.
Yeah. So something to keep an eye out for. Yeah. So we were about to talk. Recap of the Derby. First round. You had some intriguing matchups here. Rosarena Garcia. I don't think that one was really in question. Rosarena goes first, hits the 24 home runs. Adolis never seemed to get it going. And he's having a great year this year. I think it's just one of those situations where he just just didn't get in a rhythm. And it was funny though, before the matchup, everybody was talking about how he has more raw power than Rosarena.
Right.
And after watching that first round, hard to think that point. No, I mean,
did you say that yesterday too?
I probably did.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosarena was impressive.
It is. Yeah, he was very impressive. But I've never seen him hit for power that much.
Right. But I always thought he was very, very good player.
Yeah.
And then in another matchup here, you had Adley Rutschman, and it was a shame he wasn't able to advance to the second round. He hits 27 home runs, including 7 consecutive in his bonus time, switching from the left side of the plate to the right side of the plate, something to my knowledge that's never been done before. I thought that was pretty cool that he did that.
I think that's so cool. I think he's someone, he just has a terrific love for the game. And honestly, seeing him in the home run derby reminded me of his first start as an Oriole. I don't remember watching him come out.
Well, I was at the game.
You were at that game?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember him coming out. But he was just like, I think maybe his first home game, maybe it was that.
Oh, okay.
Where he was just like kind of just came out, like shook the ump's hand, and was just like stood around for like a couple of seconds and like really soaked in the stadium. Yeah. And you could tell that's kind of what he was doing. He was having such a fun time there, obviously, at the Derby. So it was cool to see that. And it was tough, to see him hit 27 home runs and not advance.
Luis Robert looked very good, though.
Yeah, dude, he did look really good. And we know about Luis Robert and his talents, but Rutschman's a switch hitter. That's pretty sick, dude. I think that, again, that just shows he was there. He was having some fun, just loving the game. And that's, I think something that a lot of, players, I think, maybe don't showcase often. And it's just great to see that. And you can tell, just because of that love of the game, I mean, he's going to have such a terrific career.
And I have to say, Tony, you actually got me on this one. So I did go to one of his first games, but it wasn't his first game. He had 2 games at home against Tampa, which is probably what you're referring to. And then there was a series from May 23rd to the 25th at Yankee Stadium. And I want to say maybe, I wonder if I could actually pull this up. It might have been this May 24th game. Because it looks like the Yankees won 7-6, and I feel like it was the Jose Trevino single.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds about right. Jose Trevino. You think Trevino's washed or what, dude? You think Higgy's washed?
No, he's not washed.
Not even Higgy?
No.
Wow. You think James McCann is washed right now?
It was Trevino. Trevino. So this is the game. How do you like that, Tony? How do you like that?
I like that a lot, honestly.
Find a game I was at from last year in about 2 seconds.
That's pretty sick, dude.
Anyway, so we know he's going to be a star. It's going to be a tough force for the Yankees. I mean, he's 25 years old. He conceivably easily will be the catcher there the next 10 years, you would imagine, as long as they're able to re-sign him. So Robert moves on there, and then you had Vladdy hit 26 home runs, easily taking out Mookie Betts, who went second, only hitting 11 home runs. And I think the whole thing, Mookie, obviously he has a lot of home runs this year, but you could just compare to the other contestants too, just a lot smaller. Just doesn't seem like he's a Derby guy.
You think maybe he was hitting the hashish a little bit too? Comes from LA?
No, it's tough. I mean,
over Seattle, quick commute, dude.
It was still, 11 home runs. It wasn't quite Brett Boone having 0 home runs back in the day at the Derby. But compared to what the other guys did, it was pretty weak. But listen, not everybody's a home run Derby player. Someone who came out, at least to start in the first round, Julio Rodriguez, 41 home runs.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely nuts. The amount of home runs that he hit in the row. I mean, it seemed like he had 3 separate occasions where he hit 10 home runs straight.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
ridiculous.
unbelievable.
Like from the rip, too.
Yeah.
Like right away.
I mean, hit more home runs than he has, I think, for his entire career, or just about the same, because I know he only has 13 this year.
He's not having a good year.
No, but you would imagine, I know they said slow start. He is rebounding. So you'd imagine he'd turn it on second half. And I think that's why sometimes guys do the derby to kind of turn up for the second half if they're struggling. So it's that opposite effect of what we see sometimes, guys going into slumps. So that put Pete Alonso into a tough spot there. He only hits 21 home runs and is eliminated, and that is where Tony turned off the TV.
Yeah, that didn't turn the TV off. But, I mean, obviously you're pretty upset there. A lot of different things happening with Alonso. I don't know if you heard this, but the guy he originally picked to throw to him.
I think, honestly, that did mess up a lot.
Oh,
now,
yeah, dude.
I still think he would have lost, though, because 41. So. Tony, 41.
What do you mean, dude? He could have done it, dude.
I think he would have had a lot better chance, but I'm telling you, it's hard enough, Tony, to hit 33 home runs, 34 home runs. For him to hit 42 home runs, I mean, it takes a lot.
I mean, he's done it before.
I do think that guy,
Julio Rodriguez, or the guy who pitched Wells or whatever his name, Aaron. Dude,
terrible job.
Like, first of all, it was pretty impressive the fact that Alonso even hit 21 home runs.
Right.
This guy literally was pitching like high and away every single time, and it wasn't even like. Because, of course, the broadcasters are like, oh, wow, like Alonso should adjust and just move up in the batter's box and try to play more. But it's like the next pitch is high and inside. So the guy was all over the top part. No consistency with his throws.
Yeah.
This guy has never thrown to Alonso before. So it's like, what are we talking about? Like, how could you expect him? Like, and like half his home runs were like opposite field home runs too. Like, it totally ruined the rhythm, destroyed, any type of, I guess, momentum. And obviously made him tired trying to reach for all these balls and hitting it oppo. I mean, kind of tough showing, honestly. I was kind of pissed about it, but, I don't know. Good for Julio. He didn't really win, though, so it doesn't really matter.
And then we were on to the second round, and what a matchup we had between Randy Arozarena and Luis Robert. And it was kind of like the theme of the night, going into that first round. You figured Garcia had the edge on Arozarena. And then you went in this one and you felt like Robert had the edge on Arozarena. I mean, he was really impressive in that first round, but Arozarena really got in a roll, 35 home runs. And then Robert only 22. So Arozarena advanced to the final. And then Julio Rodriguez goes first and just seemed out of gas. That first round just really had him tired. He only hits 20 home runs. So Vlad easily hits 21 home runs early on in his bonus time. So that sent us to the final round. And you had Vladdy, go first and hit 25 home runs. Arozarena only 23, making Vladdy the champion. I think it was a pretty solid performance from him, but it is kind of interesting. He didn't even have around a 30. And somebody hit 41. So it was kind of timing. But the performance or you weren't really that impressed, Tony, because I know you don't easily get impressed with things like this.
I don't know. I mean, the man won. So he got the job done.
But you think Alonso would have beaten him?
Yes.
Even though numbers wise he technically wouldn't have, but if he was put head to head with him,
he's beaten
different
him before,
circumstances,
dude, okay?
He can do it again.
It's just a really tough showing for Alonso, dude. It's just unfortunate, but that's just what it is. It's just the home run derby. Who cares? But in terms of Vladdy, I mean, you expect a little bit more showmanship. I feel like he was just in general very like, I don't want to say the word timid, but reserved. Normally he's more flashy,
Right.
And I feel like, maybe he's like, well, I'm not really playing. Like, we're not, I'm not playing that great. Like, it's all right, I guess.
Vladdy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
So I don't know. But again, like, you got to be like, yeah, I mean, the guy timed out his derby correct. I mean, they were talking about on the broadcast too, Vladdy isn't the most in shape guy. You don't expect him to be able to go deep in these things. But again, like, he was able to strategically place himself in this derby. Whereas he was always beating someone as opposed to like, oh, I'm just trying to hit as many home runs as I can right now to make it hard for the other person, And again, I mean, first round, called a little bit of luck for who he was, positioned, seated against, I suppose, too. But, yeah, I mean, I guess it's good for him. I mean, his First time he won, right?
Yeah, because he lost to Alonso in 2019.
Yeah. Making a little history and being the first father-son duo that's won.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't want to speculate, but I thought it was kind of odd, and it was almost like a justification to like make sure everybody had the idea that things are all right between him and his dad. But like they show right away that he tweeted out congratulations, and I don't know. Did you feel like? I know it was his second time doing the Derby, but did you feel like you almost expected him to be there?
Yeah.
If there wasn't any type of
Is there
tension or
no
something?
intention?
I thought I remember something, but I could be mistaken. And I could be thinking about somebody else. But, and I mean, I don't know where he lives now. But it just seemed like he would have been there if, there wasn't an issue. And then the tweet, I was a little suspicious, right? It was like instantaneously a tweet.
Yeah. Like, oh shit, I should have been there.
Yeah.
That's tough, dude. I mean, it's tough. Like, why wouldn't, I mean, I understand. I don't know. Again, we don't know, but I mean, like, if you're, not only if you're the kid's father, but then it's like, oh, like you're also like you've won one of these things before. Like, you think they would just be there anyway? Honestly, dude. What do you got? Divorce?
No, I know I saw something too. He has like 8 different kids with 5 different moms or something. I was like looking it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm trying to just see.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. I don't know. They've always like I feel like they've always like painted, their relationship as pretty close though. No,
I could have been getting confused with Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder.
Maybe. Because I feel like they always show the photo of him, of like Vlad Guerrero Jr. in the dugout and the field.
Well, but that nothing recent though.
No, yeah.
So maybe it's just I don't know. He didn't want to make. I mean, Seattle's obviously far, depending on where you're coming from. But you just thought he would have been there. That's all. Yeah. I thought with a moment they would have wanted to share together. But
so if you see them, maybe let them know.
But a couple of other things here. First, and I know obviously it'll be a while till there's another one there, but I think, and we still got the game tonight, but I think Seattle, excellent host for the Derby. It was packed. I love the stadium. I think is beautiful.
Beautiful. I would have loved to have been there.
Yeah. So I think that was great. Now you kind of alluded to before in terms of format, timing, that you wouldn't change one thing.
I don't think so, dude.
But don't you think the bonus round that everybody gets is a little lame? Like, what's the point of that? Why not just make it 3.5 minutes?
Well, yeah, but I feel
it gives them a timeout.
Yeah, it does. Which it is, dude. I mean, it's gotta be exhausting. I was thinking about just watching it, but I don't know. I mean, I guess to my recent knowledge, I don't really remember anyone not getting the bonus.
No, people didn't get the bonus. Yeah, because you get the first, like there's the 30-second bonus that it's not first 440. It's just everybody gets an additional 30 seconds, and then if you hit 2 over 440, you get another additional 30 seconds.
Right. So you're saying you don't want the original
30? Because what's the point? Why not just put that in?
Yeah,
the regular time.
Why is it additional? I don't get it.
I don't know. They just started doing that for whatever reason. And so the first year they went to the time format, it was supposed to be 5 minutes. Rain concerns in Cincinnati.
Right.
They brought it down to 4. And I think it's ever since Coors Field, because they were expecting balls to fly all over the place. It's been only 3.
Wait, so the first 30 seconds isn't for the first 440-foot home run?
No. It's not. It's just something that everybody gets. So is it right? Like it's like what,
I mean, there's really no point to that.
Yeah. Other than giving it, but then just give them 2 timeouts then if you're worried about that.
Right.
So
that's weird.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Would you want to change it drastically? Like, would you want to completely
I almost think just because then they could shoot it right. Just go back to the 10 outs.
10 outs.
And then they used to have, and I don't know if you remember this, because I think Century 21 was a sponsor at one point, and they used to have like the last ball was a gold ball.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think actually what. Oh, okay, maybe you know what? I guess it wasn't any more home runs. It was just each one that you hit would go to charity. So sometimes guys on the last ball would hit like 6, 7 in a row and really get that, up. But yeah, I think just go to the 10 outs. And then I don't know. I guess if you want to do the 440 and then you could get what would be out wise, what would be the equivalent of 30 seconds? Just 1 or 2?
3 extra outs.
3 extra outs.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to get that old presentation back and Boomer back or no?
Yeah. Boomer?
Yeah.
You think he still got it?
Well, I know he would get roasted on Twitter, but I think that's more of an act and more people than that would enjoy Boomer doing back. What do you think?
Yeah, probably.
Because I just remember like the last time he did it, everybody on Twitter was like, back. Yeah, that was funny back in 1998.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like he would get really roasted.
But you'd like to see it.
Yeah, it would be very entertaining.
Boomer and Ravitch, just the two of them?
Wow, yeah.
By the way, Eduardo Perez, like head in the sky. I don't know if you picked up on that.
I don't know. It just didn't really seem like.
No, because he was literally like, I forgot. Somebody was trailing by like 10 or something. And he goes, yeah, well, he's got a 30-second bonus round coming up. So he's got to get to 25.
That was Alonso, he said to. Yeah. And I was like, what?
And then,
what
then
did
he
you
goes,
say?
yeah, so he's not going to do that.
Yeah. And I remember saying, I was like, wow, like what are we doing?
Terrible.
Looks like we may have a caller here on the line. Stand by. Let's see, where are we? Here we go. All right. Oh.
That sounds like a Michael clearing of the throat.
I think it is a Michael clearing of the throat. Michael, you're live on the Sports Bar. What do you got, bud?
Yo. Mike calling from Fairfield.
Love it, dude.
No, dude, I'm actually close by. I'm actually glad that I caught you guys. So real quick, just on the NBA, I know we chatted about it earlier a little bit, but, it really is crazy how gimmicky it's gotten. And, I really thought Stern was, like Barnes said at the end, was it David Stern? Yeah, David Stern at the end of his tenure. Yeah, was a little bit of a chief, but dude, I would take a little bit of a chief over this gimmicky show any day of the week, Barnes.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is crazy. It doesn't even feel like we had the NBA draft, and I was at the NBA draft last year. Would have only went because it was gifted to me. And it's like, I can't tell. I mean, this is definitely by far, since I started following the NBA, the least I paid attention to it. I mean, nothing stands out from this season at all.
No, nothing. The only thing that will stand out for me is if Bull goes to the Knicks, which is obviously super unlikely because, people are idiots.
Chokery sent me something. I haven't seen anything official, but that the Lakers are rumored to be interested.
That would be amazing, honestly. I just want him to just be successful.
And me and Tony, maybe Tony's a little more skeptical, but I know me and you are big Bull fans. If you had to pin something on it other than the general people are stupid, what is the reason you think that teams are hesitant to give him big minutes, stardom? And
he's clearly got an attitude problem, Barnes. Like, I mean, it's so obvious.
Just a complete diva. And you think he just doesn't listen to coaches? Like, they tell him something and then he just like shoots it and doesn't care?
I don't know if it's all like, all right, so it could be that, or it could be like, dude, sometimes, like, for me, I've been the player where, I'm doing everything right, dude, and I'm cooking in practice, all these freaking scrubs, you know what I mean? And just I'm doing everything right, but coach just doesn't fuck with me. He just doesn't mess with me. He doesn't want to give me the minutes for some reason because he just doesn't like me.
Right.
And it's almost like, why am I on the team type of a thing? And, he's bounced around since he's gotten here now at this point. And it's tough, and these coaches talk, maybe, he pissed off Malone in Denver and Malone made a call to the coaches and said, "Yo, fuck this kid.
Right.
He's my French, like don't play him. He's a rat bastard, like maybe it's something like that, but it's tough. And the NBA, like, dude, I watched the rule. Richard Jefferson, what a freaking scam artist.
Oh my God, I can't stand him. He makes jokes, and I just want to know who with a pulse actually thinks what he says is funny. I really would like to know.
He's so annoying. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
if you're an NBA fan, if you really love basketball, you're gonna love the play-in tournament. It's like, no, we're not. And you're like, no, nobody is. You're just selling this now. Like, it's so lame, dude. It reminds me, bro, and this isn't a positive thing, of the NBA 2K League.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same, like, the NBA is acting like this is like they're literally copying the NBA 2K League. They do the mid-season tournaments. Like, it's embarrassing that they're taking a playbook from the 2K League. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. No, you're definitely definitely right there.
Do you think it's going to be fixed, Michael?
No, it's just gonna get worse. I think sports in general are gonna get worse in terms of just like
Besides
losing
baseball.
its authenticity. I hope so, Barnes. I mean, I don't know, man.
So. Yeah, Michael, there's certain things that I have full confidence in you for. This is one. Just trust me on this one. Baseball will be all right.
When you put it like that, how can I deny that?
There we go.
No, spot on. But it's just sad, dude. It really is, because I think about these old school players, even the guys. I'm not, and when I said that, I was thinking of Kareem, Elgin, Jerry West, these guys, these old school guys. But then even just the 2000s guys, like, this is not, even Damian Lillard said it, like, this is not the same NBA I came into. And I wish these guys would speak up, man, because maybe that could have some influence. And, hand checking needs to come back. Needs to come back for sure.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more.
But I just wanted to call in and say that. And I have an iced coffee for you, Brian, too.
Wow,
Appreciate
dude.
it, bud. Give us a T-.
Oh, I'm here. When you come outside or whatever,
okay.
It'll be there for you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Of course, brother. I figured you'd like a nice ice cold one for the road.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Thank you.
Third of the day?
And
Third of the day.
You know,
before
Tony.
12. That's okay. Right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No, I've had two. So.
No, I'm saying, but 3 before 12, like, that's fine.
Not if you're a champion, yeah. If you're soft at heart.
Got to mix it in water.
Oh, but if I remember, we already talked about it. I already had 2 waters.
Now you're canceling out
had
3
two-
coffees, 2 waters.
Wait, I mean, what are you mixing?
Oh,
in,
he
Tony?
stopped.
Right now, I got just
He's
water.
mixing
I
his
got
bourbon.
just water.
He's mixing his bourbon.
Oh, I wish everybody knew what I was cracking up about.
Last thing.
I know
last
Michael
thing,
gets
last
it.
thing.
Go ahead.
Last thing. This is about Tony Barnes.
Yep.
Hear me out.
Mhm.
Tell me this is a little weird about Tony. Right?
Okay. Yep.
What?
So it's summer. He complains about summer all the time, right?
Right.
Tell me why, and I'm not talking about the Backstreet Boys song, but tell me why he likes hot coffee in the summer. I'll leave you boys with that.
I was waiting for that
Yeah, I knew it.
double. And I know we've talked about this, that you just enjoy your hot coffee. I get it.
Mhm.
For me, and I don't know how you could counteract this. The reason why I don't like it in the summer is just because I feel like it's hot enough. Then I have
Right.
that, and I'm just sweating like crazy. Unless I have
Um,
ventilation right on me.
Yeah, it depends. Again, like when I'm in the car, morning coffee, hot coffee in the car, AC blasting, that's totally fine. But if I'm out, even if I'm outside sometimes, I mean, if it's a really hot day, sometimes I'll go iced coffee, but I do prefer by a long shot the hot coffee, and I think it mixes better with other things, like donuts and if you have pastry, it's a hot coffee. It's just nice.
Yeah.
It's soothing, the warm temperature,
And I think like I have the same feel for iced coffee
Mhm.
because even dead of winter, freezing out, Tony, below freezing, give me my iced coffee.
Yeah, I'm just the opposite, I guess.
Yeah. Habitual.
Yeah.
So that was funny. That was interesting. So, really the only other thing I wanted to mention here, we have the All-Star game tonight. You're gonna have Garrett Cole making his first All-Star game start, as
like
well
that.
as Zach Gallen. Pump for Cole. He deserves it. He's been great this year. He's been one of the few things the Yankees can be proud about this year, and coming off a year where he was much maligned, other than his performance in the postseason, which was very good, as it usually is. And it's interesting, and I'm kind of curious your thoughts on this. And I don't know if it's like people don't realize some of these guys are having really good years and career years, but there's been some conversation that, you look at these all-star game starting lineups, and I don't know if it's like we just have this like I'm trying to think of the right word, but like nostalgic type of thing where everything used to be better. But a lot of people are saying like you look at these lineups and they're not that impressive, and I'm just curious what you think about that.
I mean, I don't know. I think I think people always I guess like glorify certain like the past. I do think it is a sense of nostalgia where it's like, oh well, back in the day with McGuire, Canseco, and Sosa, Barry Bonds, whatever, dude. Like, and I mean, I'm not gonna knock that era. It's sick, dude. Those are great players. The '90s, that era of time is amazing. But I just do think like people like already just assume like, oh, this is just not going to be as good as this. And it's just like they almost go in with a negative connotation, a bad attitude. So it's like you're already like you're making it not good by thinking that, I do think that there's so much great talent. I mean, Zach Gallen is one of them. Garrett Cole having his first All-Star start. I mean, again, that's another one. It's like those are two talented pitchers. And it's like, I mean, I do think that the All-Star game in general has lost a little bit of luster because they don't really play for anything, like back when, you would be the host stadium for the World Series, like that's sick. That's like, wow, like it's kind of a big deal.
Right.
But
then everybody complained, oh, it shouldn't have effect.
Right. But I mean, it should have some type of effect, I think.
But also the problem is everybody needs $1 million to play for something and have pride into it, because back in the day, these guys were making way less than they are now, and they took pride in being at the All-Star game and winning the All-Star game. Money ruins it. Obviously, teams are concerned about guys getting injured, so you're not gonna have the starting pitcher pitch a normal start. I think we all understand that. But all of that being said, Tony, and it definitely is not the normal game that we see, but it probably, out of all the sports, is the closest to what a regular game would look like. So by default, it still is the best.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I understand what people are saying with the lineups, and I'm just kind of curious. This is just looking at this surface, not even going stats. But between both teams, first of all, we'll go league by league. So American League, going around the diamond, starting at catcher. You got Jaime at catcher, Yandy Diaz at first, Simeon at second, Seager at short, Young at third, Trout or Rosarena at Judge in the outfield, Ohtani at DH. So you look at that, I think just off the rip, you wouldn't think that Jaime and Yandy Diaz and Young would be all-stars.
Who was at third base?
Josh Young, the third baseman for Texas. He's like a rookie.
Oh, yeah.
It's spelled Young, but it's pronounced Young. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, those three guys you really wouldn't expect. Jaime, I mean, at catching.
Yeah, I mean, weakness of the. Well, actually, how is Rutschman not?
Yeah,
but I think Haime's 12 and 59. I'm trying to think how these numbers are, but
I think it's like 14 and something.
Okay, so it's close. It's in the conversation, but also, I mean, I know 56 is a lot of RBIs, but Simeon has 11 home runs, is hitting 270, and he's starting at second.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then National League, Sean Murphy is having an unbelievable
year for the Braves. It is so stupid. Why would they pick him up?
He doesn't even hit that well. He's hitting almost 300. I think 18 home runs, 55 RBIs.
So stupid.
So he's at catcher. Freddie Freeman, Luis Suarez, Orlando Arcia Arenado, Acuna, Betts, Carroll, Martinez. So looking at that,
That's pretty
I
fire.
guess just Arcia seems like he doesn't belong.
Yeah, I guess so. But he still plays. He's been playing well this
He's
season.
been playing good defense, but look at the numbers. I mean, he's hitting 294 with 7 homers and 28 RBIs.
Wow, dude.
So I don't know. That doesn't scream all-star to me.
But everyone else. You said JD Martinez DH?
Yeah, JD Martinez,
That's
and
sick,
you got to
dude.
give props to JD because
Yeah.
it seemed like he was finished
It did.
last year in Boston, and for him to have this type of season in LA, 22 home runs before the break. I know he's only hitting 255, but his OPS is 872.
That's pretty sick, actually. I'm kind of getting kind of riled for the game.
I mean, I was. Oh, I thought you were talking about Martinez, but I have to say, despite him being a Red Sox, because it started that second half in Arizona, 29 home runs in 62 games back in 2017. I always thought JD Martinez was one of the more underrated players in Major League Baseball. Career 286 hitter, and he had 5 straight 300 batting average seasons, and 5 out of 6 if you go back to 2014. The power has always been there. And I know he's older now, but I do think he was undervalued for a while.
I mean, clearly it was. I mean, look at him now.
Yeah. So, congrats to him. And, he's really helped out the Dodgers offensively. Corbin Carroll, the rookie, getting the start. That's a good story. So when you look at these lineups, we know
Corbin Carroll's getting the start, really?
Yeah, he's in the outfield. It's Carroll, Betts, and Acuna.
Interesting.
But when we look at these lineups, we think about the starting pitchers who most likely will only go 2 innings at most. A lot of times they only go 1. I'd imagine Cole, if he can get through that first pretty easily, would like to go out for a second inning. Do you favor one side? I know, what is it? The American League, is it 9 straight games they won?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Do they make it 10?
No. I know.
Is Alonso a reserve?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. But what do you think the score is going to be? I think last year wasn't only 3-2.
Yeah, it was really low scoring. Who else do we have in terms of pitchers? You got it in front of
Okay,
you?
I think they do actually have the full rosters here. Oh, why is this not?
Jonah Heim. American League All-Star reserves and pitchers here.
And the stars are just
Wow, Rutschman,
1 star
Perez,
is not
Bo Bichette.
playing. 2 stars are replacement, I guess.
Where do you see Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. 1 star is not playing, 2 stars placement. Okay. Going down to pitchers here. Framber Valdez with 1 star, meaning he's not he's injured or not participating.
Yep.
Nathan Eovaldi you can throw in there. Luis Castillo, Gossman. Oh my God, McClanahan,
Felix
Valdez.
Bautista, Cano, Clase.
Yeah, Bautista's sick. Kenley Jansen even.
I don't know how Holmes doesn't get the nod over that.
Let's see who we have from Devin. Oh, he's not playing. Oh, Zach Gallen. Kershaw's, of course, not playing. Stroman not playing. What a chief, dude.
Elder not playing.
Spencer Strider not playing. Yeah, Elder not playing.
Senga is an all-star.
But Senga and Corbin Burns. That's right. They got the replacement. So did Alex Cobb.
David Bednar.
Dude, Mitch Keller, dude.
Tell me. I was so ahead of Keller. It's not even funny.
Honestly, dude, give me the NL. I think it's gonna be 6-2.
AL 8-1.
Ridiculous.
Cole, immaculate inning.
Oh, stop
To start it.
There's no way.
Yep, pumping 98.
Yeah,
in
he's
the zone.
pumping something else.
So I guess 8. I would imagine 8, but by the time it starts, like 8:30.
Yeah, probably.
On Fox.
I'm gonna sit down with Jay tonight.
Joe Davis and John Smoltz with the call.
Love John Smoltz.
Such a chief.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Why?
The Yankee stuff is nuts.
Great golfer.
It's so spiteful, though. It really
Loves
is.
the
But great
golf,
golfer. Great golfer, sure. So
Great pitcher.
we
too.
will take a look at the recap of this game tomorrow, as well as our preview on the Scottish Open. And Thursday will mark 1 week till the start of the Open Championship. So we're all looking forward to that, as we are looking forward to an episode of Screen Time.
That's right, dude. Screen Time actually today at a later time. Excuse me. Michael and I are going to be going to the movie theaters this afternoon. Seeing this movie. What was it called? Sounds of Freedom, I believe it's called. It's supposed to be a very powerful film. That's not like a mainstream film or anything. I believe produced by, I don't think directed by, but produced and funded by Mel Gibson.
There we go.
So it's gonna be pretty intense, and a lot of people have been talking about it. Michael just sent me a comment. Actually, someone asked us to review it specifically too. So we go today.
Isn't Gibson? He's the guy trying to like bring everybody down, like all like the scandals going on.
Oh yes, yeah. He's like very much like an outlier. Yeah.
So that being said, I'm guessing Michael is jacked up for the movie.
Yes, he is very jacked up. He's definitely like making a big push for us to go see this movie, which I'm all about. I mean, I love obviously going to the movies. I want to see as many movies as possible. So it's gonna be great, and then we're gonna come back here, review it right away, dude. But a lot also in news. I think a new Oppenheimer trailer came out. They're making a Gladiator 2, making a movie about Napoleon. Are you familiar with Napoleon?
I've heard of it. I never watched it.
No, like Napoleon, like
yes, the Emperor.
Yeah, okay. They're making a movie about him. That's gonna be pretty sick. So mad trailers out there. The Barbie movie coming out next week. Mission Impossible coming out on Thursday.
But are you, in all seriousness? Because I know you got to cover everything. I understand that, but you really juiced up for the Barbie movie.
Honestly, I'm pretty riled, just because like the woman who's directing the movie has actually directed some really good films.
Okay,
so it's just so far fetched to me, Brian, that they're making a Barbie movie to begin with. There's got to be something good about it. Like there has to be for them to make. I
can't wait to hear you and Michael come back from the theaters on this one. I'm excited to hear it.
Dude,
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah. I'm excited too. And Ryan Gosling is a good actor, so I don't know.
Chief though.
Ryan Gosling, he's not a chief, dude.
Love Actually or whatever. When he's doing this every second. Come on, that's really ridiculous. Give me a drink. And then the slap of the face. Come on, nuts.
That was a great movie though.
Is there any mention of the release this past weekend of the first half of season 2 of Lincoln Lawyer?
No.
Do you even know what Lincoln Lawyer is?
No.
Check it out.
Oh, Lincoln Lawyer?
Yeah, Lincoln Lawyer. Yes. And not like Abe Lincoln.
Right.
But it's just Lincoln, like the car. It was a book. Season 1 came out last year. Season 2, first half just came out on the 5th. Then the second half of season 2 will be released on August 5th. And yeah, me and Sam actually watched all 5 episodes on Sunday.
Are you kidding me? On what?
It's on Netflix.
Lincoln Lawyer, dude.
And I think there was a movie too, but this is a show.
Oh yeah, this is
oh yeah, that is it. Yep,
this is it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I highly recommend. This could be a future screen time topic.
Yeah, dude. I don't see why not.
With a call-in.
So it's a lot of like trials and stuff, like court stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty sick. I do enjoy a good like court show.
Yeah. I can see you getting into it.
Yeah, dude.
And so rough time frame for everyone out there for screen time?
I think it's gonna be like 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Okay. But isn't it amazing, Tony? We were talking content before the show, but somehow, some way, we end up in that sweet spot between an hour 25 and an hour 30. I mean,
I never doubted us for a second, Brian.
But if anybody's adaptable, Tony, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we slammed the door, dude.
Yeah.
We killed it.
Well, I think before we even talked Derby recap, we were 45 minutes in.
Literally, I think we did 25 on eating and food. Yeah, eating and drinking.
Summer.
In the summer. Yeah.
Oh, you can't beat it. But that being said, I'd like to thank everybody today for tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy screen time, enjoy the All-Star game, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.